Hello guys, today I'm going to do a demonstration on how to cut in a flush bolt by hand. So we're not going to use a router or anything like that. All we're going to use is hand tools and a battery drill. Bear with me, this is our door. Sometimes there are two situations where you'll have a flush bolt which will actually go in the face of the door, and another time we'll have it on the edge. Today I'm going to show you a slightly trickier way how to mount it on the edge. So let's go through the marking out process first. So flush bolt mounted on the edge, it will be positioned into the centre of the door here. Obviously going down like this, just probably show you a little bit better like that. So that's going to go in like that. There are several points that we need to mark. So we need to, of course, mark the full length. We also have some slightly different thicknesses, and we have the mechanism to work out as well. So we need to mark out for this point here, because we've got a screw, so we can't cut too deep there. We've got this bulge going through here, so we need to mark out both of these. We've also got this little point here, which needs to be marked out, and then of course at the very end. We then need our centre of the actual door, tape. So we've got 44mm, that's the standard thickness of a fire door. So we need to go 22mm to the centre. Okay, then we're going to grab our marking gauge. I'm going to use this as my face side, so I'm going to reference my gauge off this side the whole time. I don't need to cut anywhere from here this way with the actual spade cutter, so I need to cut anywhere from there. So from that mark here, this one, I'm going to scribe my line all the way through there. Just gently through. I only need it there as a reference point for my drill bit when I cut out for the mechanism. Okay, so just a light line. So I'll put the pins in that side, then I'll flip it over and double check that's on, nicely centered there. And then I'll just double check once more that this is set to the correct width. Okay, that's perfect. So then now I want to do the whole length, because obviously we're going to the end here. So I'm going to scribe all the way through. Once more. So now when we actually cut this in, we need to drill a series of holes with I'm going to use a spade cutter. So I need to allow a hole which is at least this wide, and I believe this bolt is actually a little bit wider, so I'm probably going to have to cut it to that size. So let's have a look here. So this bolt is, we'll call that 13mm, and I need a mark here. Okay, so up to this point here is as far as I want to actually drill with the spade cutter, because I need to leave some timber in there to allow for the screw. Now with these, they're close tolerances, so you've got to get your marks nice and accurate. So So now I've got to that point, so I need to drill all the way through here. So what I'm going to do is actually, to help with the cutting with chisel later, I'm going to mark that line in there as well. So I'm going to cut a 13mm spade bit cut through here. So I'm going to set my marking gauge up to 13mm. So I've got my cutter here. I'll set that up right to the very edge of the cutter. Okay, so that's good there. And then again, I want to centralise that. So I'm just sort of doing it by eye for a start, and then I'll double check myself. Okay, so that looks pretty good there. Give that a try. Okay, yeah, that's nice and central. Okay, so again, I'll mark that line from this point here. Some pencil lines in so you can see them a little bit better on the camera. So first of all, we've got our outside line off for the faceplate. And then we have this line here, which is for our spade cutter. So you can see we've only got a very fine margin of timber left to allow for the mechanism to actually fit in, but then still leave some meat of the wood left on to allow this faceplate to sit there. Okay. Okay, so when you're ready to actually start cutting with the spade bit, we need to measure to the thickest point or the deepest point of the mechanism. So from the faceplate to the back of that is 22mm. So I'm going to mark on my spade cutter 25mm to give myself a little bit of tolerance. Now don't forget, I'm not going to mark right from the very point. You need to mark from this point here, because that's the actual where the cutter will actually cut the circle, for example. So I need to measure from that point there down 25mm, and then I'll grab a piece of masking tape, pop that on my mark, tape that up, so I then know that not to cut any deeper than that. Okay. Okay, so make sure your drill is nice and upright. You don't want the hole going off at an angle like this or like this. So try and get that as upright as possible. What you want to do is try and eye up there, so this side of the cutter is not going to go any further than that line there. Okay, so we'll take that in nice and gently at the start. So you can see what I'm aiming to do is that cutter should be touching right on the inside of this line. I don't want to go any wider than that. Okay, so do that, and then I'm going to run all the holes through here. When I get close to the end here, I don't want to have the cutter right on the very edge, because that will split out here. So I'm going to keep that back just a fraction. Okay, so then the rest of that I'll then take out with a chisel rather than with the drill bit. It's much more accurate to cut it with a chisel. First of all, I'm going to take off a little bit more of the waste first before I go back to that line. So then I can get my chisel right on that gauge line. I want to make sure that my chisel is going in nice and straight this way. I don't want it diving in this way, and don't want it going the other way. So I'm going to keep checking that I'm going nice and straight. Okay, just gently go in. So I'll continue all the way down, then back the other side, all the way down this way as well. So now what we want to do is we need to cut out this bit for this thickness here. Okay, so we've got this part here which is going to come out through here where we've already marked, but this part is obviously only needs to be this deep, and we want to kind of keep it like that so it sits nice and flat there and nice and secure. So I'm going to start just back from the line. So I'm just this side of the line first. Okay, just get that started. And I'm going to start working my way back up this way. So flip the chisel over. And then just slowly work your way back. Okay, so you're going to end up with something like this. This bit part here, you're going to chisel out. You've got your faceplate cut in now, so you can check that's going to fit. Turn it upside down, put that in, and it should be flush through here. Okay, so what we do, I've now finished this part off now. Okay, so you should end up with something that resembles this. So we've got our slot right through here. We've got our notch taken out here to take the faceplate. Then our next step is to take out for the faceplate all the way along the top here as well. So again, I'm going to need my 18mm. I'm going to start just back from the line. Make an upright cut. Okay, now I'm going to work my way back. Okay, once you come to this part here, obviously you've only got a very small amount of timber to take off, so you don't need to hit in quite so hard. It's going to go in very easily. The key is to try and do it the same amount of hits every time to keep it the same depth. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start from this end, and I'm just going to go in 2 taps. Okay, should be enough. And I'm going to take it back. Again, take your time, get the chisel in the right place before you hit. Okay, so I've gone all the way along. I'll just take the chisel, take the bits off, take them out there as well. And now I'll come right back to my line. So I've got about 2mm left. I'm going to try and split that. Do that 1mm, chop down, and then I've just got that final chop. Okay, so I don't want to touch that anymore. Now I'm going to work along the sides, switching from my inch back to maybe 18, just to trim all this out nice and flat. I don't need to hit it in with a hammer, just the weight of my arm is enough to get it in. Take time, make sure the chisel's in the correct position every time. Work the way back. Okay, so now I'll gently stick them out. Okay, so once you've got it all cleaned out, you take your flash bolt and actually give it a try in upside down, see if we're anywhere close. So that fits in pretty good there. So I'm all nice and tight all the way along here. So now what I'm going to do while that's there, I've got these little points here that need to be gouged out on the inside, and also where this slope is, I need to cut that slope in as well, because that's obviously much thicker on that point there. So I've already got them marked out here. I've got where the screw is going to go, and we've got the end of the slope here, and then obviously we've still got the little points here. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'll start with this one here. Simply I'm going to put my chisel in. Okay, bit that side. Side. Just take that little notch out, and I can scoop it round and back the other side as well. Okay, so I'll do that on the other side as well. Very easy to take out too much, so make sure you have a little test first just to see where you are. So I can see in the hole the mechanism is actually touching the wood there, so I need to go that little bit deeper where that bulge is. But I'm good on the little points here. I'm just going to go a little bit deeper here. that a try now. So get it in position, press right up, so it's flush here on the bottom, up, down. Okay, so that is our flush bolt